Hi, I'm Barry Allen, and this is Mandarin Mnemonics. In this video, I will be discussing a very useful system to help you memorize the tones of Chinese words. There are four main tones in Mandarin, which are pronounced as so: ma, 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 and ma. There's also a fifth tone, or no tone, but we won't worry about that today. The strategy that I used early on is something called the number shape system. This is where you take a number, we'll start with number 1, and you imagine an object that resembles that number. For me, when I think of number 1, a good picture would be a lightsaber. One, because it's very bright, and also when you try and memorize a word, it's very action oriented. You can throw it into a picture, into a scene very easily, and it just it's interesting. That's really what I'm trying to say. For number 2, most people use a swan, which is a good number shape, but I like to use a cobra. For number 3, I use a pair of handcuffs. These are quite good because when you want to remember something, you just remember the word visualized in your mind wearing handcuffs. It can be quite funny. For number 4, the one I generally use is a sailboat because, again, the 4 kind of looks like a sailboat. So, how do we use this to memorize tones in Chinese? Let's go over the first word. Now, as I said in my last video, you should choose a memory palace or a place that you know very well, such as the house you grew up or maybe the house where you currently live. So I will do that, and my first room will be my bathroom. And the first word we want to memorize is the word Mao, which means cat in Chinese. So there are 3 elements we need to remember. The first one is the meaning of the word, which is a cat. So that's pretty easy. I'll just imagine a cat in my bathroom. The second element is the pronunciation. So what can I use to signify the pronunciation of Mao? I usually think of Mao Zedong. So, okay, I've got a cat and Mao Zedong in my bathroom. The next thing would be the tone. And for the first tone, or number 1, my symbol was lightsaber. So I need to combine these 3 elements in some sort of scene. Now remember, again, anything that's amusing, funny, or disturbing, or anything that gets an emotional response out of you is good. So for that, I will imagine maybe Mao and the cat fighting lightsabers. It's kind of funny, dressed as Jedis. Or I could imagine Mao killing the cat with a lightsaber, which is kind of disturbing. I can imagine the cat screaming, it's not nice. I like cats, so that might be the best one for me to remember it. For my second word, I am going to go into my memory palace in my living room, and I'm going to memorize the word shay, which means who. To remember this meaning, remember the 3 elements. You've got the meaning, pronunciation, and the tone. For the meaning, I am going to visualize Doctor Who from the TV show. For the pronunciation, shay. Now this is a difficult one because shay doesn't really mean anything in English. And sometimes you have to be a little bit creative. So I looked it up online, and shay is actually a name, believe it or not. I don't know anybody called shay. But it's a name, and the meaning of the name is gift or present. So from now on, whenever I see a gift in my memory palace, I know it means the pronunciation shay. So I have Doctor Who, and Doctor Who is opening a present. And can you remember what my symbol for number 2 was? It was a cobra. So Doctor Who opens the present, and then suddenly a cobra jumps out, and it could be anything, really funny, like you could run away screaming, it could jump into his hair, it could wrap around his neck and strangle him. Just anything that gives you the most vivid image in your head is usually the correct one. This brings us on to my third word. For this, I will go in my memory palace to my kitchen. And the word I want to memorize is gou, which means dog in Chinese. So for the meaning, it's pretty easy. Again, I'll just imagine a dog in my kitchen. For the pronunciation, go. Now, what does go mean in English? I just think of maybe a referee at the beginning of a race with a starter pistol, and he fires it in the air and goes, go! So that's the that's the meaning. And then for the tone, again, can you remember what number 3 was for my symbol? It was a pair of handcuffs. So I will imagine a dog starting a race, wearing a pair of handcuffs, and then when the referee shoots his gun, the dog starts running away. But he starts running in a kind of weird, clumsy, undulating way because he's wearing handcuffs and it's really hard for him. You could imagine him he's falling over. Anything that's funny, I would use. For my fourth and final word, I am going to use the word I, which is 4th tone and means love. I'm going to place the word in my memory palace in my bedroom. And to represent love, I am going to use Cupid, the Greek or Roman god. I'm not too sure which it is. For the pronunciation, I am going to use the word eye, as in my eyeball. And for the tone, which is 4th tone, can you remember which one it is? It's a sailboat for number 4 because the sail kind of resembles a 4. So, how do I combine these 3 elements? For this, I will imagine Cupid in a sailboat, and he is sailing in a sea of eyes, which is just a very bizarre image to have. You could even imagine the eyes jumping out of the water. He could be shooting them with his bow. Anything like that. Anything that really helps solidify the memory. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This has just been a very quick and easy strategy to help remember tones in Mandarin Chinese. If you have any questions, just ask them below.